Guys, I think we called it. We're about a week out from our last recording, and Bitcoin is up like I don't know the exact percentage. At least like 15%. I don't know. We'll get there. We'll check out eToro later on in the show. But all that matters now is crypto's up. Man, some of these altcoins are like up 200% over like a week or maybe a month. That's insane. That's tripling, right? If you're at $100 and you go up 200%, that means you have to get to $300, which is tripling. So crazy stuff going on. eToro is our sponsor. We love them, and that's where you can trade crypto. If you're interested, you can find them at btc.com/trade. Of course, as usual, we're going to show them off a little more later on, and we'll show you our virtual portfolio competition if you want to get involved. It's quick and easy. I am Daniel Brown, and I'm here with...
Tim Baker. Hello. How is everyone? Everyone's rich now, apparently.
Yes, let's wait to hear from everyone how they are, and then we shall continue this podcast. Ready?
Let's take a moment of silence. Okay. Well, I feel pretty good about it, Daniel.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, the eToro, it's not as depressing this week looking at my virtual money.
Man, that's so much and so fast. A week ago, this is obviously, we all know this is how Bitcoin is. We called it last week. We did actual predictions, and I think my Bitcoin prediction was a little bold. I think I said 120K or something. Does that sound right, Tim? We recorded it.
We were Daniel was trying to get something across to me at the beginning, and so I texted him our predictions of last week, which is not what he asked for. I was
but it is important.
So
yeah, 120,000.
So yeah, 120,000 for you. I think I said 20,000.
Well, you never know. I think it was a little bold because we were like rushing at the end there, and I didn't have time to like zoom into the charts and actually figure out like which spike was 300 and which spike was 1200. And but hey, I'm sticking to it. It's official now. That's my prediction for 2020 is 120K. I should have said 2020. What would that be? 200,000 and 20,000? No, that'd be 220. Anyway.
What?
Happy New Year, guys. Happy Bitcoin year. I don't know, whatever.
Happy altcoin year. Did you give like the address for them? Because I was going to mention something else kind of related to
eToro?
Yeah.
I did, but
okay,
cool. I mean, sure. Me and btc.com/trade. Let's say it again. Why not?
Okay. I'm sorry. Now Daniel feels like I'm attacking him. But what I was going to say is, and I'm trying to remember this because I saw something in the news. I'm not sure if it was just on Twitter. It might have been
what's the difference?
Because some stuff comes up on my phone as part of Google Stories, and that's creepier.
You haven't gotten Google off your phone yet?
No.
Why not? You just uninstall it.
Because they have it anyway. Wait, what?
Yeah, you're right.
What do you mean they just uninstalling the Google Chrome?
Well, Chrome you might be able to uninstall. There's a Google app that you might be able to uninstall. I use Firefox on my phone. Big fan. Actually, it's like a beta version. It's called Firefox Preview. But hey, I'm starting a blog, guys. It's called cloudfree.tech, and it's gonna tell you all like my idea for my first article, which is not out yet. I just have an intro, like 3 or 4 paragraphs, like, hey, this is what I want to do with this blog. But my first real article, and it's going to be updated, in perpetuity. It's going to be like 6-second steps, like literally the simplest, like less than 2 minutes steps to get some privacy. And Firefox is going to be one of those things. Like, just install Firefox. It's the same as Chrome. No different. It's not the same, but, it takes 5 minutes to install, and 99% of it is going to be completely intuitive. You'll know exactly how it works. It's just as fast as Chrome. And the other 1% you'll figure out after a week. So there's Firefox. That's going to be one of my like 6-second steps to privacy. And then some other ones might be like Signal, and I don't know, like because obviously on this blog eventually I want to get into way more technical stuff, like maybe rooting your phone, custom ROMs, and God knows what else, like having, I don't know, some sort of analytics on your website besides Google Analytics. Who knows what? All kinds of technical stuff. But first post will be Super easy, 6-second steps. So there you go, Tim. Get Firefox on your phone and on your desktop. You won't notice a difference after 2 days of using it.
I think it's already installed.
Nice.
It was weird because as Daniel was saying the thing about Firefox figuring out like 99% of it, my phone was at 99%, like it just stalled there. So I feel like it's some kind of a sign. But
exactly. Cloudfree.tech. You're going to love it, Tim. It'll knock your socks off.
I mean, it probably will, Daniel, because I'll just read it. I'll be like, I don't know what the fuck this means. And I'll be like, okay, I'm dumb.
All right, I totally interrupted you, though. Where were you going about news and Twitter?
How dare you
or
interrupt my dumb thought that might be old with your technical knowledge? Was it this past week where supposedly the Dow hit another high?
It's been like every week.
Well, yeah, but like a big number or something like that, like enough for some reason for them to run the articles. Yeah, I guess I could just look it up.
Yeah, it's at an all-time high. I'm looking at a 5-day chart and it's at 29.3. So you probably saw news at like 29.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, this is good, guys. But I guess just as an aside, the predictions. I didn't look at I forget what you had. I think I had like 20, but I don't know. I think
predicted a pretty strong plummet down to, I'm looking at it. Wait, 18,000? That's all I said? All right. Well, that's what I said.
But yeah, I got Firefox. I'm now super secure. A lot of security.
Wait, did you get regular Firefox or the Firefox preview?
Oh no. I think just the regular Firefox.
That's fine. It's still miles ahead of Chrome.
So this is the problem with anything I do on the computer. It's like, well, that's kind of selling myself a little bit short. I have an ability to do something, but I have to do it in such a regimented way. I mean, that's not just for for computer stuff. Like just, I was trying to bar the laces on a shoe, which is just putting them across.
Wait, why? How did we get the shoelaces?
Because, like, to explain, like, how I have to do things, like, I have to follow a step-by-step process for doing something. I can follow directions. I am incapable of seeing how, in mechanical and technological things, how things actually work. I can follow direction, kind of, but
yeah,
like,
no, that's
someone doing electrical work stupefies me. They don't stupefy me because I'm like, yeah, I guess you're following something, but I have a hard time, I think, like, if I can't see a direct, like, goal in the next step, I'm kind of lost as to how to even start on something.
That's fair, except the only caveat I would say, like I say every week, like we said 100 times just last week, is like it depends what. It's always nuanced. Like I would say that about some things, but then there's other things that I just get intuitively and I move pretty quick and I don't need a guide. And then there's other things where, yeah, I do need step by step, like depending on how interested I am and how much it just happens to click in my brain, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I know what you mean. That's why I want to do this type of blog post where it's like, hey, these, like, they're not perfect. Obviously, it's like a million people are going to argue, like, well, actually, an attacker might be able to determine your IP address and what your operating system is, and then they might know who you are if you accidentally sneeze. Okay, fine. but still, it's like literally not even. Well, of course, I'm exaggerating. There's no way to quantify this specifically. So I'm just going to say literally 100 times better, even though that doesn't mean anything. It's just way ahead of Chrome in terms of privacy. They automatically block certain trackers and cookies, and it's just incredible.
I mean, it's literally probably anything over Google is probably going to be better as far as privacy goes.
And the same goes for Signal, and you know that. It's you don't know how exactly all the steps for how it works, but you know it's miles ahead of any other messaging.
Well,
so
okay, then I'll bring this up to you, and then I guess I have some other things I can kind of bitch about, but I think it was my mom. My mom, first
You're getting her on Signal?
No. My mom got a smartphone, so for like the past month, it's just been like, Tim, what is this? Tim, what is
Wait, this is for the first time?
Well, yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
she's had a slide phone until they were like, yeah, we're not going to let you have this anymore. Like, we're getting rid of this service.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I guess I have. But it's like just to start a phone, and for me, because I don't know how to, whatever you were talking about, root a phone or anything, I was like, yeah, you have to make a Google account because you can't get apps if you don't, or you can, but it's going to be so much more confusing. But so they'll do all that. My mom doesn't really understand any of it. But then my dad, like, kind of wants to mess around with things. So I, like, go over the one day, and he just blocked her phone and her tablet because he didn't recognize what they were. He was going onto his Wi-Fi through the television. The television lets you check your Wi-Fi and see what devices are on it. And he goes, what is this? And blocks it. I go over there. I'm like, why isn't your Wi-Fi working? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, it says disabled. That's happened at my apartment, but I just normally hit it and it goes back. I don't know why it does it, or just
Hold on. How did
connected.
you figure?
What?
How did you figure that out so fast? That seems like
I did. It took Daniel. I was so angry, and I didn't want to swear.
How did you even think to look at the TV or like?
No, because my dad was like, there was something on the TV. There was something on the TV, and then he's looking around. He has no idea where. I'm like, just give me the remote. Just please give me the remote. I've been there for like 45 minutes, just like messing with the Wi-Fi, resetting it, putting in like manually the way for the Wi-Fi, deleting her Wi-Fi on the phone, so she has to sign in all the new networks again. And then I just see it. He just has them paused with Wi-Fi. So he just likes to mess with things. He doesn't understand it. But both of them, because my dad's like, don't have the Wi-Fi on in public, or else someone can get, because of public Wi-Fi's. I'm like, most people don't really have public Wi-Fi. Like, there's a password, kind of, and who cares about your phone? My mom doesn't have anything on her phone. She does like choir music practicing on her tablet. There's nothing useful there. I'm just like, don't worry about it. Just leave
that
it
gets.
alone.
I mean, as a web developer, I've even had fellow web developers be like, "Oh no, I never go on to my banking at Starbucks. Like, no way." Okay, do you know how many people are at Starbucks every single day, logged into all their crap? Like, we're ahead of, 10 years ago, sure, every single person on that network would have seen every single, cookie and domain name that you requested and everything. They could have, even then, 99% of people wouldn't know how. Today, sure, there's risk. Like, yeah, I know the difference between HTTP and HTTPS. And I know even with HTTPS, there's, side channels or whatever, DNS injection and on and on and on. But still, like, the risk is just, please, yes, there's more risk at Starbucks than there is at home, sure. But it is still extremely low. I'm sorry. And then people that are like, oh, did you click that link in the email? I know, I'm a web developer. I know how the internet works. I know how attacks work. Trust me, I've read like 88-page PDFs about like the most obscure attacks you could ever imagine. I know how cookies work. I know how HTTP works. Yes, you could get attacked by clicking a link in an email. I know how cross-site script injection works and whatnot. But it's just so unlikely. Yes, it's possible, but it's so unlikely. So, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be careful. I'm just saying it's extremely unlikely, especially like if you're dealing with banking, like even if you did get hacked, all you do is like go, show them your ID and they're like, oh yeah, that wasn't you. And then they reverse it.
Just go, hey, I want the money back. And they're like, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't work. It's not worth anything here. Take it. Put it back with us. We're going to give you so much interest on it.
Exactly.
Did you have some angry...
With Bitcoin, you really got to be careful because if you lose your Bitcoin, you're not getting it back. So there is that. I would also add, like, Oh, screw it. I'll remember in a second. I don't know where I was going with that. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand anything you just said. Like, Daniel's getting kind of high and mighty. I don't really like it. I feel like he had a lot of angry conversations over the holidays.
It's not anger. It's more like maybe.
No, I like it. It's pride. It's a good little bit
pride.
Of like just confidence in that you kind of you don't go, I know a little bit about something, because a lot of people do that, and it's just like, all right, just say you know it. There's whatever. Be the douchebag on the work crews. I've been doing this for 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be boastful, but it's just a fact. Like, I know how cookies work. I just do.
He just knows the cookies, folks.
Yeah, exactly. And I know like what HTTP headers are, and I know how you might be able to hack a database command. Like,
well, no. Here's the other thing, as I was going to ask, because then my mom did bring that. Why are phones so? It at least seems so much less exploitable by viruses. She didn't say it like it. I think her question was more just
that's
general.
The same. First of all, I would say that even Windows these days, like if you're going to get a virus, you have to be clicking everything, and I mean everything. And because even
I don't
like worst case scenario, you're browsing the web. The worst thing they can do, unless you really screw up, is like kind of trap you in a web page where they like pop up a box and you have to click OK, and then they pop up another box and you have to click yes or no, and then they pop up another box, and then they're like, most of the time, what people might think is a virus is, it might be, it's kind of like expected behavior. Like, yeah, you actually installed that. It's not a virus. It's what you installed. Like you clicked all these download buttons and then clicked on the executable. It's not a virus. You installed that crappy piece of software. A lot of times. I mean, and anyway, so the reason it's different with phones, like, it's just newer software with a little more thought put into it. Like Windows goes, I don't even know the date, probably back to the 80s or whatever, at least early 90s, and they had no clue what they were doing.
They just had
then.
to patch everything constantly.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas Android, they had all the experience of Windows, and they saw the evolution of Windows, they saw the evolution of Mac, and they said, okay, we're starting from scratch here. Let's keep some of this stuff in mind. Make sure there's an app store rather than random executables that anyone can download. Make sure there's a permission system so that each app has to request these permissions before they can actually do anything. And that still really doesn't exist much in Windows. I mean, they tried to implement it, but... Well,
that's what would it be a passable but obviously dumb explanation of something if you were going to say, like, because like phones just don't have them because there's not as much freedom of... movement on it versus
that's
a normal computer.
That's why Android, or that's why iOS is even less susceptible. Yeah. iOS is even less susceptible because it's even less free. It's harder to install custom apps, and it's harder to develop the apps for them. You have to pay money to develop just to get like a developer's license for Apple, and then once you develop something, it has to still get approved by them. All kinds of stuff. So
if I got money, I feel like I could get by. I mean, I would be willing to put a decent amount into it, but just anything to just flood the iOS market with just viruses, just pay people to just Trojan horse all of their apps.
Tim. People will pay. It's called there's a ton of they're called bug bounty programs where they literally pay you to find bugs. A lot of them are sponsored by the by the good guys, by Apple or Google. They'll pay you to figure out how to hack them so that the good guy, so that they can fix it before a bad guy figures out how to hack them. But ZeroDem is kind of a gray market one. It's one of the they have some of the highest payouts I believe they're up to at least $1 million, probably like $10 million or something. Here we go, payouts. It's called ZeroDem. The reason I call them a gray market bug bounty is because it's not like Google or Apple where like they are paying for their own bugs. It is a third party. They are paying for bugs in Windows, Linux, Apple, Chrome, Firefox. They're paying for all these bugs. Where's the payout chart? Here we go. New payouts. For Android, obviously this is the maximum. It has to be a really good hack. They call it a 0-click, which means like you could hack an Android where you didn't even do anything. Maybe it's just like sending them a text message and they're instantly pwned. But the payout is $2.5 million if you can find a bug like that.
Okay, how do you do that? How do you find a bug? I get that, like, you are you just kind of just combing through code as far, like, or I guess the person finding the bug, or is like, what's the process?
I can explain it better for web. The concept is the same when you expand into like an operating system. You can find the log files and whatnot. But for web, the way to explain it pretty simply, and the way that anyone can go and do this, this is one of the first ways that I got involved in programming and actually started to learn the power of it. And you can do this right now on your computer. Open up a web page in Chrome or Firefox, right click and click inspect or inspect element. Most people accidentally do that and they run away. Holy crap, what'd I do? Yeah. They close everything. It's scary. You start to see all the code. But that is it. That's your power right there. You can see all of the HTML and you can change the HTML. That's why screenshots are a joke, because anyone can just go into this web page and change what it says in 3 seconds. You just right click, hit inspect, and then change the text. It doesn't change it on the website. It changes it in your browser. It only changes what you're seeing right in front of you. It doesn't like change it for everyone else, but it defeats the purpose of a screenshot.
Yeah.
So there's that. That's step one. That is the first thing that blows most people's minds. And it did for me too. When I first, like I said, I right clicked and hit inspect a few times accidentally and it scared the crap out of me. But then the first time I really started to get it was when you actually make a change and you're like, oh, I see how this is working. I see the code. I have some power here. And then the same goes for every single network call. It's a different tab when you inspect. You have to kind of switch tabs and look at different stuff. But you can see every single request. So when you load a page, you think it's just one URL. And, at first glance, it's just google.com. Or a better one might be like a news website. You think it's just wallstreetjournal.com. But if you start to look at all the requests, you'll see hundreds of them, thousands of them that happen in a split second. And it's all the images, but then, it's all the images, and then there's the style files that just tell the website how to look. But then it gets really crazy when you start to load ads. Then you just get hundreds and hundreds, and they don't stop. If you click on that network tab and just watch it, you're not even touching the web page, and these requests just keep going out and keep going out and keep going out. That is all the analytics, all the data collection, and then every single ad that you see is going to load its own analytics. It's going to track when that ad becomes visible on the page, and it's going to start pinging those servers every few, depending on the ads. Oh, here it gets real crazy with the bidding. Every single slot gets its own auction on every single page view. Do you know how many millions of most of these news websites get tens of millions of page views per day? Every one of those page views is going to have like 6 or 8 or 10 ad slots. Every single one of those ad slots for every single page view is going to request bids from 6 or 8 or 10 different ad vendors. So we're up into the like billions of requests just for a single website in a single day. Billions of requests, and most of them are requesting bids for those ad slots.
Yeah, well, that's where money in the economy should be going, Dan. We should definitely be
It's insane.
It's definitely good. Yes,
it happens in a pretty high limit would be like 1/8 of a second is when that entire auction happens. Between every single slot is requesting bids from like 8 or 10 different ad vendors. And then they're in turn on their own servers, they're like going through what ads they have available and who the user is and how much they're willing to pay for this user. And then they're requesting bids up the stream from other people, all in 1/8 of a second. Okay, all that to say, your original question was how do you even start finding these hacks? It's by right-clicking and inspecting and actually seeing what's going on. And the same can be done. It's a little harder, but the same can be done for Windows. You can find the log files. You can look into your network, see all the requests that are being made. The same can be done for Android. You can plug it into your computer and start seeing all the logs and see what apps are running when they wake up the phone and then you can start to inject commands like with the browser. There's another tab called the console, and that's where you can run JavaScript. So if you right-click and hit inspect and then click on the console tab, you can just run JavaScript, which can do anything. You can do a simple program, which might just be math. Be like, set a variable equal to 1, and then set the variable, equal to itself plus 1. Oh, look, now it's equal to 2. Okay, that's obviously super simple, pointless stuff. And then you could say, set the variable to itself plus 1 again. Oh, look, now it's 3. Oh my gosh, I'm a programmer. Sure, that's great. That's how you start. Those are your first programs. But then you can get into crazy stuff. It's like, this isn't even that crazy, but for some people it would be mind-blowing where, you run a program that picks a random element on the page and changes its font color or write a program that pings your server and logs the page view and on and on. Obviously, the possibilities are literally endless. That's what Turing complete means. We've said it before on the show. I don't have the technical definition in front of me, but it means the program can do literally anything that any program could ever do. And that's just 2 clicks away from every page that you ever look at is your JavaScript console. And all of a sudden you can do anything you want to do with a programming language. Turing complete. All right. Wow. You got me, Tim. How did we get onto all this stuff? I
don't know. I fed into the demon that was in you tonight that you started talking about. I know stuff. Let me just shut up, Tim. Be quiet. Be quiet. That's what you did. You told me to shut up and feel stupid.
You kicked me off.
No, you did. Again, it's like I can kind of understand the stuff still kind of putting me there. You make it sound not as confusing, though.
So it's like anything. Like if someone opened up the hood of their car and there's your governor and there's your fuel injector. Obviously, I'm not going to remember it, but it doesn't really take that long as you're committed. If you actually worked at a car repair shop for 2 weeks, you would know 100 times more bits of information about cars than anyone else. So I get it. It's like anything else. If you don't know anything about it, it's like, whoa. Like I said, you right click and you click inspect and you're scared. That's fine. That's how everyone feels when they open the hood of their car. But I don't think it takes 4 years of classes to learn how it works. It takes 2 weeks of actually being involved for a reason. If you're involved because you have a test in 2 weeks, okay, fine. You'll remember it for 2 weeks and then forget it. But if you're involved because you actually want to figure out how to set up a website, or you actually want to figure out how to solve this problem, several months ago we did a half an episode about credit card churning and how you can get all these credit card bonuses. And a big part of that also involves traveling, like figuring out how to spend these points on travel and which airlines are charging how much. People have built websites that will just compare all the different routes and how many points it costs on which airline and what the standard price is and what a discounted price might be. That's if somebody cared about that and wanted to do that, they could figure it out in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It doesn't take 4 years. All you have to do is have a purpose. Gosh, you did trigger me.
Was that an attack? Was that an attack on college? You were like, no,
yes,
no.
That's exactly what that was.
That is probably true. I mean, you can probably. I think both of us. Just as a completely aside thing, what do you think of just in general, just kids going to a school for like 8 hours a day?
It's terrible.
It doesn't really make that much sense. Not really.
Why
you're going to remember all these civic things that you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's
that's the thing that I think we're on the best end of that. It was, I mean, we didn't have the stuff. It wasn't like a nice prep school, but it also wasn't super, super like aggressive like a nice prep school, but it wasn't public school where you're just in a class with fucking 45 other kids and they're like, yeah, but you gotta pass this trigonometry test.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
No, yeah, so it's like, obviously, again, like anything, it's nuanced. There's good things, there's bad things. But, and you know, school, even a public school, and even a bad public school is going to have some positive things about it. Sure, people are going to learn math, whatever. Yeah, sure, they're going to learn how to read. Some people learn faster than others.
The question is if it actually, because there's a significant amount of like just illiteracy. Because, like you're saying, it doesn't matter. Like, well, even you can get an okay job, like not being able to read above a, I don't know, 4th grade level.
Yeah,
probably.
But I agree that maybe the illiteracy problem is way worse than it should be.
Or just math. Take math, like math. No. People don't attack. I'm sorry. I'll shut up after this. But people don't attack. People attack the illiteracy thing a lot, but then people can't really do math in their head.
Oh yeah, I agree. But that's the thing. I can't either. I'm a developer. It's a very technical thing. But I'm way slower than I used to be great at math, and I could do everything in my head pretty quick. Now it takes me 3 times as long because I haven't needed quite as much. But all I was going to say is, like, yeah, there's an illiteracy issue, sure, but still, even then, like, what is that, like 5%? Well, no, I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of demographics that I don't interact with that.
No, I'm not even talking from personal experience. I'm just talking, I mean, I don't even know what the figures are supposed to be. I just know that that's always something people complain about, and so I like to poke at the public school because, well, sure. I mean, yeah, I guess ideally, yeah, I mean, the vast majority of people do, but does it matter? Because that's what people are, like, if you say, like, yeah, what's the point of doing that and putting so much money into it? Oh, yeah,
and that's
true.
Go,
what, do you want people to be dumber? I'm like, how are they going to be dumber? What?
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter for a lot of people. Like, so they might not be able to read. So what? They weren't going to go far anyway. No offense, but that's just a fact. Some people aren't destined to be a surgeon or whatever.
Yeah, obviously the vast majority, like the whole everybody needs to go to some kind of school. Like this hasn't been a thing before. I don't think it's never been like every single person. Whether you're going to be a dog walker or a web developer.
I would guess not really until the past 100 or 200 years. Did anyone ever imagine that you should be? I mean, the closest they would have had is like an apprenticeship or like a tutor. Maybe the wealthy would have their kids go to some sort of tutor on a pretty regular basis. But the idea of universal, like all day, every day, like curricula is mind-boggling, and it's without a doubt, like the only reason it exists is because people want this knowledge, certain knowledge, and only certain knowledge to get passed on, and I don't think there's any other explanation for it.
I think it's because of like having a more industrialized. I mean, not just it's a vastly more industrialized. You kind of like, you just need a bunch of of workers. Like, you need a bunch of me that are just going to wander around and do stuff. And I was going to ask you. Wait, I'm sorry. What did you ask me?
Oh, we were just going on about what the pros and the cons and what things might be pros. But hey, here's one that I just that confused me the other day, and I have not thought this through more than like my 3-minute drive to work. So don't take anything I say here too seriously.
You hear that, city people?
Yeah, I'm still hashing it out. But this one kind of got me off guard. We criticize the food pyramid. This is just one example. I'm sure there is countless similar contradictions in any belief system, but just take this one just for fun, just for example. We criticize the food pyramid while at the same time saying that the government just wants us to be productive. They just want our money. They just want our taxes. But if they really just wanted us to be productive, why would they give us a bad food pyramid? Wouldn't they be trying to make us healthy and fat and productive and worthwhile, as opposed to just like sedentary and useless?
No. I mean, because there's more. Because
wouldn't they want us to live longer so we could produce more for them?
No, because you're worth more whenever you die, and they can collect taxes on that, and taxes on the hospital, and taxes on the aid, and taxes on the Medicaid, and funding for all the things. And they go, we have all these people, they need more money, just give us more money.
So you're saying,
yeah, that's the
obviously there might not be one person with this master plan of like how they're going to collect the most money, but just naturally the incentives are there for a bad food pyramid, you think?
Yeah. Well, I think like all this stuff. I think the food pyramid is like that because we produce a fuck ton of grains and we need to sell it's just what we do. We have heartland waves of grains. Like even like Europe doesn't have stuff like that. Europe has like pieces, but like Nebraska is just there's a whole section of the country of the Midwest that is all like, I mean, it's obviously not all farm, and now it's all giant industrial ones. But those things stretch miles, right? So I think, and because it's like it's not a bad diet that you're necessarily going to die 30 years before you would if you weren't on the diet. It's just going to be, you're being a little more miserable, little bit more crotchety.
Kind of a different example would be where they do go after smoking, because that will kill you maybe faster and make you less productive. A little bit faster,
and then again, see, I don't know. I don't get smoking. There has to be something, because smoking has always confused me. I get booze just because people are like, I don't care, let's go watch the football game and drink beer and let's go out.
You get why they allow it, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, because there's no kind of, I've met like one person maybe that's actually more interesting when they're drunk and is more fun. Most of the time people just get stupid. And it costs a lot too, and it has a lot of things that goes along with it. You can build entire parts of your city off of booze. I mean, I guess you could build that with anything, but it seems like, and it's like, yeah. But smoking's always confused me. I mean, I think we talked last week, or maybe I just did on my podcast about the smoking age going up.
Yeah. I didn't hear anything about the smoking age, but I do remember you saying recently how, like, you don't think that having whatever, like half a pack a day, quarter pack a day is really any worse than having McDonald's most days of the week. And
but the smoking age did go up. Like, went up to 21.
No, I know. I think I heard that, but I was just saying a different comment that you said about smoking.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll probably, I think I said like 2. Maybe I'll track it back to that.
2, okay.
I do think that's seriously, because if people would treat more things with just like the slightest bit of restraint, just any restraint at all, things would be a lot better for them. Like, it's not, at least I don't think the people who are getting like lung cancer from smoking, it's not because they smoked a pack a week, they smoked a pack and a half a week. It's because they smoked cartons a week of just I just got, like, people die on caffeine all the time. There's no legal thing for that, because the caffeine is definitely one where, like, yep, I mean, get like 5 hours of sleep, wake up, dump a whole bunch of caffeine down your face. Another one of those Google stories over the holidays. There was an article from a local news station with a video that said to combat holiday weight gain, you should drink 4 to 5 cups of coffee a day to help you, burn off those calories by just twitching from caffeine. So they're giving you really good ideas to get heart palpitations. But they don't kick, because you'll work, you'll make some money, you'll be able to tax you, and then you'll go into the hospital. And those bills cost a lot of money, but those aren't just because the hospital's expensive. That's because everybody has to make a little bit. Did you watch the, I don't know how much longer you want to do, but did you watch any of the Democratic convention?
No.
No.
Absolutely not. I didn't even know they were happening. The only reason I knew they were happening was because someone said, I heard someone at the office like, hey, I'm going to order food tonight because I'm working late. That's it.
Okay.
That is literally the only sentence I've ever heard anyone say about the Democratic debates, or about this Democratic debate.
I didn't hear it. I saw on Twitter. So someone was they just like added to the end of like a Bernie quote, and they were just like, and I don't think a woman can become president, because like Elizabeth Warren was like, you once said this one time. Like they were arguing over these kinds of things, and Bernie's like, I never said that, I never did this.
I think a woman could be president, but of course I should
obviously be. Not this time. It's gonna be me. I'm gonna die.
No, I've been off Twitter for several months now. Like, I've only opened it up like twice because I don't know, maybe somebody sent me a tweet that they said I should look at or something. But yeah, it feels good.
I'm going to start doing that to you more.
I have been pretty hooked on Reddit, though. Like I said, these credit card points and traveling, discounts. I've been a little addicted to those lately. So
as long as you're sticking to a specific like subreddit, Reddit is okay. It's whenever you start just going to the rest of it, you're just like,
cool. Oh, this might be fun. That's the thing, that most of the time, like all social media, like you think there's a payoff, but like it never really pays off quite enough.
Yeah,
like,
no, you're like, oh, that was barely more interesting.
Yeah, it's like cat gifts. It's like, oh, this one's gonna be funny. It's like, okay, that was okay. Maybe the next one. Oh, okay, that was all right. Maybe the next one. Okay, haha. But give me another. It's like it promises a payoff, and it like sort of pays off, but never enough. Yeah, that's when you get in trouble for sure. It's like, yeah, you just can't stop scrolling. But yeah, no, I seriously, like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, those are the only two. No, not even two. It's really just one. I've only looked at the other subreddit. I sound just like an addict now. It's like, well, I've only.
I don't do it that much, but there is this other stuff that I do. I like it a lot. It's really interesting. No, the people are cool. They don't make me do anything I don't want to do. No.
Anyway, well, yeah, we could wrap it up here pretty soon. That was some fun stuff. I don't know why I got so passionate about.
I wasn't trying to cut you off. I just freaked out a little bit. Daniel is more confident. He's getting jacked from working out. He's wearing different clothing, so you guys can't see him, but he's imposing now, is what he is.
Yeah, my massive muscles showing him off just to Tim here.
Well, no, he's not. That's disgusting, Daniel. You're married.
Yeah.
Shh.
You remember when we genuinely we thought about getting married just for the tax benefits?
I have a vague, but I don't know if it was ever a genuine consideration on either. I mean,
dead serious.
If it was genuine on your end, I'll say it was genuine on my end. But I remember some text messages going back and forth about getting married, and then neither one of us wanted to go to a courthouse.
The only reason it didn't happen was because partly we were lazy. Yeah, that involves paperwork and whatnot.
Yeah, and go talk to a judge.
Right. But also because I don't actually know what all the benefits are. Like, I'd have to run the math and whatnot, and I'm too lazy to do that. But if someone, I think there was a period of time, a summer or so, where if someone had sat me down and said, look, you're going to save $1,500 a year because of this benefit and this benefit and this benefit, I would have done it in a heartbeat. Like, sure, like I'll take the $1,500 a year. So there you go, Tim.
That's because you're just a free spirit, Daniel. You're ready to throw your life. It's like we're going on a whirlwind romance together.
Yeah, I must. Something's wrong with me today. And now I'm professing my love to Tim. Like, what is going on here? We gotta end this show before stuff gets worse. Guys, eToro is our amazing sponsor. If you want to fall in love with eToro. Seriously. Yes, you can find them at youmeandbtc.com/trade. And as we alluded to earlier, the number one benefit, without question, is their free instant $100,000 virtual portfolio. Just jump in there, get those $100,000, and do whatever you want with them. Watch them grow, watch them shrink, try some altcoins, try some Bitcoins, try some whatever coins. I don't care. Stellar, Ripple, Dash, Ethereum Classic. The list goes on and on. Zcash. Just try it out. Have a good time. All for free. All in minutes. The charting is incredible. You can look at all the charts, draw on them, different, candlesticks, just like you would expect from a serious exchange. But of course, you don't have to get that technical if you don't want to. You could buy Bitcoin in 30 seconds and just watch it if you would rather do that. It's all in real time. Every 2 or 3 seconds, my screen is changing and flashing red and green. What's up? What's down? How much equity do I currently have? Which, of course, Tim, is a very, very important number right now. So hit me. Where are you at?
Well, I'm at 100,170. And a lot of that is thanks to the guy that I follow because he's done pretty good.
So you say $100,000 plus $170? So it's like 100?
Yeah.
Okay. Check this out, Tim.
No.
$111,000 and $500.
This is bullshit.
It's hard to say big numbers clearly. Like, it's like you don't know if, like, are you saying 100 and 1100, 111,000? But yes, 111,500. So you're welcome, Tim. My biggest performer over the past, let's see. So we've done some video casts in the past. So go find them, guys, if you want to see the interface here, how the charts work and stuff. I'll try to talk you through it right now. I can pull up my watch list, which has several of my favorite coins, and I can set it to 1 week. And I see that Dash is up 124% on the week. That's been the biggest performer over a week. But of course, the performance is kind of weighted to how much you're invested. So just because Dash went up 124% doesn't mean my portfolio went up 124%. So if I switch over to my portfolio, I can see every asset that I have and whether it's positive or negative. And overall, Dash is still my biggest performer. I'm up 48% with my Dash because obviously I didn't buy it all a week ago. I had bought some when it was more expensive than it was a week ago. So that's why my personal Dash portfolio is only up 48%, even though Dash is up 100, whatever. But then, of course, I can look at the dollar amounts, profit/loss. And my biggest performer there is Ethereum Classic. I'm up $9,000 on Ethereum Classic, which means, of course, I probably should sell some, because I don't want to be sitting on all this profit when I could be investing in other things. So I'll talk you through this real quick, and then I'll wrap it up. I want to sell Ethereum Classic. It looks like I have 17 open trades, because it tracks each trade separately. Every single one of them is in the black, in the profit, in the green. So I'm going to go ahead and close out my oldest ones, which go as far back as, it looks like, September 5th. They're not sorted by date currently. Can I do that? Yes. 11.693. There we go. 9.3 is my oldest one. 11.6 is my most recent one. So yeah, I'm just going to close out a bunch of old positions. Close trade. X, close trade. I literally have, what did I say, 17 open positions. So I'm going to close guys, this is not trading advice. Please. This is not how you do trading. You don't just close your oldest positions. You don't just say, I have 17 open, so I'll close 7 of them. Sure. None of this is trading advice. We're just showing you what is possible with the platform and how easy it is. So there we go. I closed about 6 or 7 of them, I think. And which means I now have $10,000 cash available to invest. I'm going to close one more. I mean, that is some serious profit. I got to be closing. Let's make it 2 more. All right, so we're up to $13,000 cash. And so now I want to buy stuff that's cheap. Sell the stuff that's spiked, and I want to buy the stuff that's cheap. So if I look at a 1-month chart, well, everything's up. But what's up the least? It looks like Bitcoin. And obviously, you know me, I love to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is only up 20%, so let's get involved a little more here. Buy, big green buy button. I've got $13,000 to work with, but I want to save some for next week or whenever. So I'm only going to buy $2,000 worth of Bitcoin, open trade, and off we go. We'll save the rest for a rainy day. Guys, I love you. What have you been working on your portfolio at all, Tim? Any changes to report?
I'm selling some Dash.
Okay.
And I'm doing very bad on Ethereum. I've lost $2,000 on that. Mostly just Dash, the guy that I follow, and I've thumped some of the Ethereum Classic. But yeah, not doing too well. I'll come back, folks. Don't worry.
You're still ahead. You're over 100,000, which is what you would have started with. So you're making money on the virtual. Guys, check them out at youmeandbtc.com/trade. You can sign up in seconds to have this free portfolio. Let us know how you do, what you're buying, what you're selling, and how much money you make. Also, my advice of the week, quick and simple, open up a web page, right-click on something, and click the inspect button, and don't run away. That's my advice. Try to learn something. Click on that network tab. Watch the requests just fly by. Every single thing is being tracked, I promise you. And come back next week. We love you guys. Peace out.
Bye.